Mason Mount agrees personal terms with Manchester United ahead of a big summer move to Old Trafford to play for Eric Ten Hag. Liverpool were the front runners and heavily chasing the player. Arsenal have made some big moves for him also, but it appears that Manchester United, as things stands, are winning the race to sign money Mason Mount. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. I want your opinions on this. Rivals and Manchester United fans alike. In other news, Maguire is set to play his last game for the club and should be leaving Old Trafford after the FA Cup final. Plus, Kovacic to Man City is also on. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments below, and of course, check out the Football Terrace's TikTok account. New and exclusive content over there throughout the whole summer. To get across to that now, let's do this. It was met with an element of shock last week when Man United was seen as potential suitors for Mason Mount. Then David Ornstein broke the news to the world that Man United were leading the race, that the player was leaning towards Eric Ten Hag on Old Trafford, should he decide to formally leave Chelsea. Since Man United played Chelsea last Thursday, the deal has progressed fairly rapidly. A done deal between the two clubs, so a fee being set, is yet to be completed, but personal terms are done, dusted, and fully agreed on. That is squad status, salary, personal terms. All of that jazz is completed between Man United, Ten Hag, and the player, and he wants to join Manchester United. In terms of the club's negotiations, they are reported to be, at this point, there doesn't appear to be any real issue. So they should progress relatively quickly from this moment in time. Chelsea need to get rid of him. Kovacic is on his way out. It looks like Kai Havertz could be leaving as well, with Thomas Tuchel showing an interest in him. There are a number of players that are going to be leaving, and that's an imperative element of the summer for Chelsea. So hanging on to players for too long, creating problems, not moving them on, is very much something which is going to be, I'm not going to say detrimental or damaging in a bad way, but it's certainly something that they're not going to want to see. This is not something that Chelsea are going to want to see prolonged over the course of the summer. However, you look at the situation with Mason Mount, Man United fans are not happy. So let's put Chelsea aside for a minute. They want it done quickly. That means it can happen. A lot of Man United fans are not happy with this deal. I've seen it on socials. I've seen it in the comments here when the links have happened. So now this deal is progressing. How are people starting to feel about it now that the dust is settling? I'm very resolute in my view. I'm very much sticking to my guns. If we're dropping 70, 80 plus million pounds on this guy, if he's going to become almost the main central midfield signing, if he's going to be the upgrade on Eriksen, the alternative to Frankie de Jong, then I'm worried because he isn't that good. He's a good player. He's potentially a very good player. But is he ever going to be good enough to dominate a midfield for 30, 35 games of the season? No, he isn't. I look at Mason Mount as being a very good professional. I think he's good on the ball. I think he can create chances. This season just gone hasn't been particularly great for him, but he has been known to create opportunities, score some goals as well. I think he is a definite upgrade on Donny van de Beek, on Scott McTominay, on Fred. He has great pressing. He has great energy. This cannot be, though, in my opinion, the main signing for Manchester United this summer in midfield. So for me, I remain not massively moved by this transfer. My socks are not blown off. I'm not thinking, wow, Man United are going up levels. Man United are going to go and challenge for the Premier League now because of Mason Mount. I don't believe that. With the right summer around him, though, this could be a very good piece and a piece of business. The price of the player is going to be key for me. 40, 45, 50 million. You know, we're looking at additional players elsewhere. We start dropping those 70s, those 80s, then this deal doesn't appear as appetizing or as good. There is the other train of thought within this, though. So that's my take. There is the other side of this, which is, well, I might not agree. KJ might disagree. Mark Goldbridge might disagree. But what does Ten Hag think? I've seen a lot of people criticize his talent ID because he isn't picking players that they rate. But do you rate the manager? Do you know more than him? A lot of people criticized him going after Casemiro. That was heavily ridiculed last summer. Turned out to be pretty good. Going after a 4 foot nothing centre back was laughed at, even by Man United fans. Why? He's going to get ripped apart. It wasn't. I think the smaller pieces of business the manager did, the Ericsson's on a free, Sabitzer on a last-minute loan because of injuries, have been very, very good. I'm not yet convinced by Malacia, but a very cheap signing. And I think Anthony has shown himself in moments, and there's some a big improvement needed. But there's certainly a player in there that we can see. And Weghorst, look, the manager didn't want him; he wanted Gakpo, but the Glazers didn't sign off on it. So far, the manager's signings have either been absolutely brilliant, good for what they cost, and there's a couple where you think, okay, you're very young. Let's give you another year or two to improve. So thus far, I trust my manager. I look at Ten Hag and I think to myself, I trust you. I trust you to go out there and get it right. So I feel really torn as a Man United fan because I'm not the biggest supporter of Mason Mount. I don't think he's going to make us exponentially better. I don't think he's going to raise the ceiling enough. But at the same time, I really trust my manager. So the way I'm going to treat this is I'm going to remain open-minded about it. What I'm not going to do is create an agenda. What I'm not going to do is go, right, I'm unhappy. So now every time Mason Mount does something in a United shirt that isn't perfect, I'm going to cry about it. I've already seen those same very people doing it already on social. They're angry, they're annoyed, but that'll be an agenda now for them forever and a day. I view it from the point of view that I agree with you on the quality of the player, but I want to be proven wrong. These morons from outer space online do not. They want to be right. So as Man United fans, they actually want it to go wrong so they can say, told you it wasn't very good. I just don't live in that world. I can't. My brain just doesn't operate like that. For me, it's very much a case of I want to be wrong about this situation, but let's see what happens. And I want to get your take on that. Has Ten Hag made the right decision? And if he isn't good enough, there's a question I want you to answer for me. Why does Klopp and Poch, Ten Hag and Arteta and Thomas Tuchel, why do they all want him? Some of the best managers in the world, some really talented managers. Why do they all want him? And don't answer it sarcastically. Don't say, "Oh, they could all be wrong." I want to know why you think they want him. I'm looking for genuine answers. Listen, people, hit the like and the share button. Come follow us on TikTok. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.